Okay, mamas, this video is for you. If you and your family have been thinking about making a move to the metro Atlanta area, this video is going to share with you 10 things that you have to know before you make the move to metro Atlanta. And I've compiled this list from years and years of interviewing clients on, hey, if you moved here from out of the state, what things surprised you about living in metro Atlanta? And these are the top 10 things that most surprised my clients when they moved to the metro Atlanta area from out of state. Enjoy.
You home tonight. We are young.
So one of the first questions that I ask people when they call me about moving to metro Atlanta is I ask them, where will they be commuting to? And the reason why this is so important is because depending on where you live, a 10-mile commute can take you an hour to an hour and a half, or it can take you 15 minutes. So it's really important to know what are the different areas around metro Atlanta that you're going to need to get to on a daily or weekly basis. You also need to pay special attention to how close your search is to the interstates. And the closer you can get to major arteries, major interstates, and I promise the less your commute will be and the happier you will be. So you've got Georgia 400, I-85, I-75, you've got 285, and you have tons of arteries getting in and out of the city that aren't interstates. Now, something else to note about traffic. Traffic is not only found going into the city and coming out of the city. Heavy traffic can be found just getting around the area that you're living in. I'll use Johns Creek as an example. Johns Creek can be heavily congested, especially during before school, after school, and after work hours. Number 9 is healthcare. And the reason why this made my list is because of all the feedback that I've gotten from my clients on 2 main healthcare issues. Number 1, how many options we have for healthcare, and number 2, how people have picked their pediatricians and orthodontists and dentists and things like that. So let's start with the number of options. So when you're living in metro Atlanta, you are going to have an enormous amount of urgent care options. You're going to have a lot of pediatricians, orthodontists, dentists, general practitioners. They are in abundance, but you're also going to have a lot of specialists in the areas as well. If your kid is like my kid and has broken 3 bones already in his short life, then you might find it helpful to know that we have Scottish Rite and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta close by, and not only close by, but there are multiple locations for each of those, and they specialize in children. Now, if you as an adult or an aging parent might need, let's say, cardiovascular specialists, we have St. Joseph's right here in the Dunwoody perimeter area. We also have a lot of other hospitals like Northside, Wellstar, Kennestone as well. The second reason why healthcare made my list is because of how easy it is for you to get referrals to the different specialists or pediatricians, orthodontists, things like that. Go ahead and join your local Facebook moms group of the area or areas that you are going to be living in. We have moms groups in every area, I promise you. So go ahead and join that group, and then go ahead and search for pediatrician, orthodontist, dentist, general practitioner, manicure, pedicure, all the important things that you might need when you're moving to a new area. And you will see post after post of the same new people like you asking, hey, who do you guys love for a pediatrician? You're going to get recommendations from people who live here already. Okay, 8th on my list has got to be weather. I cannot tell you how many people knew they were moving to the south and knew they were moving to the Atlanta area, but were still shocked at how hot our summers can be. And I will say this summer has been especially brutal in the metro Atlanta area. Even though we had a pretty mild June, we got really spoiled, but man, as soon as July hit, we got into those high 80s, but what felt like maybe even mid to high 90s. We touched 100 for a couple of days, and the humidity has been off the charts. So just remember, when you're moving here, just like when you're moving anywhere really in the Southeast, it's gonna be hot. Something I always add when I talk about the heat of summer is the fact that we truly do have 4-ish seasons. We really have 3 solid seasons and a little bit of a 4th season. Our winters here are very mild. It has not snowed here in a couple of years. And even when it did, we only got about maybe a dusting, maybe half an inch. And that's just in the immediate metro Atlanta area. If you go up towards North Georgia, you're certainly going to get some snowfall several times a year up there. Falls are gorgeous here. Most people don't understand how beautiful our falls are, but the foliage, I mean, remember, Atlanta is the city in the forest, and we have trees everywhere, and most of them are going to lose their leaves, which means that they're going to change to these beautiful bright red, bright orange, bright yellow leaves. We also have a really amazing spring. It's going to really start feeling like spring in Atlanta around March, and that's going to go through until probably the end of May. And again, this year we had an extended spring into June. It was quite lovely. Now, one thing also to know about our weather here is we actually get a lot of rain. Coming in 7th is how close your next vacation is. This is a really pleasant surprise for a lot of people, especially people who grew up in the Midwest where the beach was so far away. But in Georgia, your closest beach is only 4.5 hours away. You can go to Tybee Island, you can go to St. Simon's. You've got amazing choices. You can go about 5 hours and hit Hilton Head in South Carolina. So the beach is close by, but you also have beautiful mountains in North Georgia. This is the perfect place to experience your first fall, or I go every fall, but it's a perfect place to experience hiking, beautiful waterfalls, and watching those leaves turn. We're also really close to cute little towns in North Georgia like Ellijay and Blue Ridge and Dahlonega, but you're also really close to towns in North Carolina like Highlands and Cashers. Just absolutely stunning. It's perfect for a date weekend. It's perfect for a family getaway. And of course, it's always a great time to have a girls' weekend away there as well. So you have a vacation within 2 to 4.5 hours away when you live in the metro Atlanta area. Speaking of going on dates with your husband or significant other or partner or wife, let me talk about date night, because you've got lots of options. The 2 biggest challenges that come with date nights are typically A, can we find a babysitter? And B, where are we gonna go? And those challenges are solved in Metro Atlanta. Number 1, you have an abundance of babysitters. Local Facebook moms group I told you about, great places to find babysitters. That subdivision that you're eyeing, I promise you they have a babysitter list. And if you're gonna be joining a church, they've got babysitter lists too. We are the city of babysitters here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second fun thing, especially about moving into Metro Atlanta, is use these date nights as opportunities to explore all of the little downtown areas throughout Metro Atlanta. You've got downtown Marietta, you've got historic Roswell, downtown Woodstock, you've got Brookhaven and Buckhead and Decatur, you've got downtown Kennesaw, you've got downtown Lawrenceville and Duluth. You have some really fun, cute, even historic downtown areas that are perfect for date nights.
So hot.
Okay, ladies, 5th on my list is something that you're gonna hate, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it, and that is pollen. If you have not lived in the Southeast, you do not know what I'm talking about, but I promise that in the month of April, you will start to see a snow-like covering on everything that's outside, and that stuff, that yellow stuff, is pollen falling from the pine trees. You will likely become allergic to it. The good news is that it falls in the spring, and hopefully we're having a rainy spring. So it falls, it gets washed away, and you got a little bit of reprieve before it falls again. The whole process takes a solid 2 to 3 weeks, and then it's pretty much done from a visual standpoint. But pollen and all the different types of pollen are around for most of the year. So go ahead and pack your Claritin, make sure that you bring your Benadryl, and just understand that come spring, your family might start complaining about feeling bad, and they probably don't have a cold or the flu or COVID or anything like that. It is allergies. All right, number 4 are all of the bugs, okay? I was just showing some clients in town from Florida this weekend, and the daughter could not believe the number of spiders that we have. Yes, we have spiders, and they are not afraid of us. And trust me, you will walk right through their webs a couple times a year. We have all kinds of bugs. We don't call them roaches here. We call them palmetto bugs, but they're big roaches that have wings and that fly, and they can come in your house when it turns really hot, when it turns really cold, when we have a big rain. They seek shelter. So you're going to want to make sure you invest in some type of pest control. We also have snakes as well. Most of the snakes that I see are black snakes. They're completely fine. In fact, of course, we all know they're actually a huge benefit to our environment. But we do have copperheads too in certain parts of Metro Atlanta because we have the Chattahoochee River and all the little tributaries and little lakes that come off of that and feed into it. The last thing that you're going to see, which is actually very sweet, are deer. A lot of my clients are surprised at the number of deer that they see. We are having a huge fawn season right now. It is so sweet. I mean, in my neighborhood and a few other neighborhoods I've visited just this past week, there are little baby fawns all over the place with their moms, and it's so precious to see this whole family of deer. All right, let's get to, in my opinion, the last three awesome things about moving to Metro Atlanta when you're a mom. And I'm going to say number 3 is going to be the social network that you're going to have. So first, if you're moving into a subdivision, our subdivisions here, for the most part, are very social, especially if you're moving into a subdivision that has swim tennis amenities. You're going to have back to school parties, end of school parties, spring parties. You're going to have Halloween parties and Halloween parades, 4th of July parades, 4th of July parties, Memorial Day parties. There are so many different ways and reasons that our neighbors get together and just kind of do life together. And it's so convenient because you just drive your golf cart or walk up to the pool or the amenities. Also for the adults, because we got to think about our adult social network too. It can't just be all about the kids. So again, you've got your neighborhood, and a lot of our neighborhoods have like women's only bunko nights. They have men's game nights. They have couples, adult only parties. I know in our neighborhood, a couple times a year, we'll have a live band come play, and it's adults only. The second social network that you're going to have is through your kids' sports. And I will say, some of my best friends also came through my kids' sports. And that leads me right into point number 2, or the second thing that you need to know about moving to the Metro Atlanta area, is that if your kids love sports, then you are going to love living in Metro Atlanta. So the great thing about kids' sports in our area is that we just want our kids to play sports. We want them to be great, obviously. Some of them really want our kids to be great, but to me and to so many other parents, sports is just a way to get our kids to learn about working together with other kids. It gives them exercise, it keeps them off devices, and it gets them outside, right? And it's just so fun and heartwarming to watch our kids play. And if your kid's not great, that's okay. There's going to be a home for them in one of the, maybe the county rec leagues or in one of the church leagues. If your kid is really good or wants to get really good, then you've got options there too. So no matter if they're interested in baseball or gymnastics or dance or basketball or football or lacrosse, there is something for everyone at every different level. And this is another part of your social network. You will meet other parents in the stands and on the field, and who knows, some of these parents might become some of your friends for life. All right. So from this poll, about 20% of the people that I polled all said the same thing when it came to something they had no idea about when they moved to Metro Atlanta, and that is schools. And there's a few different factors with schools, but I want to start with the most surprising item first, is how early schools start back. Yes, school starts back very early in Metro Atlanta. We actually just started on August 1st in Cobb County, but we weren't the only one. This year, in 2024, Cobb, Cherokee, Douglas, Forsyth, and City of Marietta schools all went back August 1st. DeKalb County, Fulton County, and Gwinnett County schools just went back this past Monday on August 5th. Gainesville City Schools are going back August 6th, and City of Decatur Schools led everybody, and they actually started on July 30th, beating everyone. Those kids had to be very unhappy. But we do have a lot of breaks. In fact, we have 35 days off in Cobb County alone from school during the school year. We have 6 full weeks of breaks during the school year in Cobb County. Fulton County has less, but Cobb, Cherokee, a lot of the other ones do follow this kind of calendar. So your kid, in addition to getting summers off and the school teacher, like the teacher holidays sprinkled out throughout the rest of the year, they're going to get a fall break in September. They're going to get a Thanksgiving break around November, obviously. They're going to get 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. Then they're going to get another week off in February. That's when you go ski. And then you're going to get another week off in spring. That's when we go to the beach. So there's your breaks. And that is when we schedule our vacations. And some of those vacation times, minus, Christmas and spring break and Thanksgiving break, not a lot of other people are traveling during like the February winter break. Also, the last thing I'm going to say about schools in Metro Atlanta and in Georgia as a whole is when you move here and you become a resident and your kid gets to high school, they are now on the path forward to getting their college completely paid for, okay? There's 2 types of programs that we have, and they're both lottery funded. One is called Hope Scholarship. One is called the Zell Miller. Zell Miller was an old governor of ours. That is a huge benefit to moving to Georgia because your children's education can almost all be paid for, which is very exciting. It can take a huge burden off of especially large families, but any families. Anyway, as a mom to a mom, I hope that this has helped you. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any additional questions or concerns or anxiety, what's keeping you up at night about this move to Metro Atlanta, please let me know in the comments, or you can always text me or message me. Sign up through the Calendly link. I am here to be a complete resource for you so that when you are ready to pick the area that you're going to move to, you have the most support possible. So mamas, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.